Americans have historically been very much against paying taxes. Well, at least the cool ones. One of my favorite examples of this was the Whiskey Rebellion, which happened between 1791 and 1794. After the Revolution, the American government was in over $50 million worth of debt, which would be trillions by today's standards. Alexander Hamilton was the Secretary of the Treasury and basically wanted a big government approach of paying back the debt. His idea was to create more debt with government bonds and tariffs and excise tax. Hamilton knew the tariffs would not be enough, so he decided to start taxing Americans on goods produced in the U.S., and in 1791 the Whiskey Act was passed by Congress. The distillers could either pay the tax by the gallon or a larger flat tax. The tax would take a huge chunk out of the profits, especially for distillers with smaller operations who didn't have the capital to pay the flat tax, while the bigger distillers in the East could stay in business. Sound familiar? It was the first tax ever levied on an American product by the feds. People in Appalachia were pissed, especially in Pennsylvania, and in one of my favorite books about George Washington, it talked a little bit about how the tax collectors would come down and they would be tarred and feathered and tied to a tree and left for dead. I think we should bring that back. Anyways, Americans started protesting and rioting, and when local courts refused to convict the tax evaders, Mr. Big Central Government Hamilton went crying to George Washington and demanded that they use military force and march down there and scare the people into submission. Hamilton wanted to tempt the people into violence. Washington listened to Hamilton and sent down 13,000 men, led by him. It was the first and only time a president led an attack on his own people. The militia stood down when faced with the overwhelming odds against them, but nothing really came of it. There were only 2 people to actually be charged with treason, but George Washington ended up pardoning them in the end. The Whiskey Act was repealed by Thomas Jefferson in 1801 when he took office. There was no more excise tax after that, and the rebellion was considered to be a huge win for liberty. And it didn't come back until Lincoln took office. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.